The following video features part of a conversation I had this weekend with a collector named Ross about his three favorite cards. As he's running through those, I'm going to try and put some visuals up on the screen for you as well. So I hope you enjoy. Before we logged on today, I asked you to make a list of your three favorite cards. Let's at least just run through those here real quick. Go ahead and start with number three and then work your way up to number one.
All right, number three is an actual set year, but it is a set of cards. When 2018 was kind of going, the boom hadn't happened yet, and Panini finally did something they hadn't done in Prism ever, which was put the Nebula into Prism. And I am not here to pump it. I'm not selling any of my stuff. People ask me all the time. No, I'm not selling. I'll potentially trade if it makes sense. But in 2018 Prism Choice, which was the first year for that, they put the Nebula in there. And so I'm going to say that set. I ended up accumulating quite a few out of the 300. And that, for me, is one of the coolest things they have done. And I'm not here to say it's better than the Prism Black or not. But gosh, Kyle, it was at a time where you were able to buy random base for $100, $150 of semi-stars. And even stars were not that much compared to today. And so I'm going to pick that set, most notably the LeBron out of that set, which would be his first Nebula, which I'm super happy to have. That'd be number three.
You didn't end up with that Luca, did you?
No, what's funny is, like, you look back in time and the price it sold for now, you go, gosh, that would have been a steal.
But felt really high at the time.
Well, it was very, very high, man. And that's the old, like, on the journey, you have to pick and choose what you can do, and you can't do it all. And so didn't win that one. But man, hindsight's 2020. That would have made up for everything, basically, if you hit one like that. That's for sure.
I think at least, though, you do have the LeBron, and I think that's the first Lakers one, even though he's pictured as a Cav. That is a Lakers card,
Yeah.
right?
It's a Lakers card, so it says Los Angeles Lakers on the bottom, but then he's still doing a layup as a Cav, which some people like, some people don't like. I think it's kind of cool because it bridges both deals, right? He had just won a championship in Cleveland a few years before, and now he's going out to LA to kind of start that journey. So to me, it's kind of a cool bridge card, too, between his two most important parts of his career, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely helps narrate that. Yeah, for sure. All right, well, that's kind of hard to top. What do you have at number two then?
Number two, man, and this is one where being in the hobby early was such a benefit to have cool things to trade. So in 2020, Prism put out what's known as the dunk of LeBron James doing the Kobe Bryant dunk. And when that came out, I said, my gosh, that's unbelievable, but I don't know how I'm going to get that. And I was able to find a guy that pulled it in a break, and I traded a boatload of things for it, but was able to do it out of my collection. And I got the LeBron Gold Prism dunk. And why do I put that above Nebula? I mean, look, I think imagery, much like people make the hobby, images on certain cards in the right brands make this thing. And I just think that'll go down as one of the most iconic Prism cards ever produced. And people have different opinions on that. Like, certainly I don't think it tops 2012. I always think firsts are most important of key things. But when you think about Gold Prism, LeBron, from that era, it's certainly up there. And so that would be my number two.
Well, and I've done my Prism rankings before. The shine on 2020 was actually pretty good. And
Incredible.
then on top of that, I'm not a fan of that's a horizontal card. I'm not a big fan of horizontal cards, but you cannot have that photo in a vertical format. So they nailed that one. I think that one is just an excellent choice on their part. One of I had a lot of complaints about that 2020 set, but they got that one right. Okay, number one. What you have for number one?
Number one, and again, it's not just about values, man. It's just about passion and what I enjoy. And this is kind of a 1A, 1B, would be Donovan's NT Logo Man rookie and his Prism Black rookie. And I kind of put them up there together. Look, they're certainly not the most expensive ones in my collection, but they kind of bring the most joy, man, because it was a simpler time in 2017, even though that was only 7 short years ago, where getting those was an actual chase that didn't set your life back, if that makes sense. It was actually within reach to go for something like that before he
Right.
was anything
We
but
didn't
kind
need
of a
a
jewel.
funding space to acquire cards.
Yeah, I've never wanted that, and so you could actually do it within your collection and go get some cool things. And I often joke, like, even the Donovan Prism Black, I remember purchasing that card for what guys out of the league right now
Mhm.
have gone for in subsequent years. So it's just mind blowing when you think about where the hobby is versus
Right.
where it
I watched a
was.
Travis Diener superfractor sell for like 1,300 last night. Different times, man.
It's crazy.